So how can you become a millionaire investing in real estate? Well, this video, I'm going to talk about just that. Hey everybody, I'm Randy Wolfe, and before we dive in today, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to learn how to invest in real estate. And if you're looking to take things to the next level, you can check out my private community. This is where I teach and coach new and aspiring real estate investors. I'll be sure to put that link in the description below. All right, so everyone seems to be super enamored with the whole millionaire status. You know, it used to be, how do you make $100,000? It used to be six figures, and then it turned into, how do you become a millionaire? And I'm sure in the future, you know, not so far, 10, 20, 30 years, it'll be, how do you become a billionaire? But right now, a lot of people look at real estate investing and they're looking to try to change their lives and do it in a way to where they can hopefully not only like leave their job maybe or make some extra money, but like really be able to build wealth. So one of the ways that you can become a millionaire investing in real estate is just simply by doing it slowly and letting time do the rest. So for example, if you were to go out and you were to buy, let's just say that you bought 3 properties and those 3 properties were $200,000 each. And I'm going to keep this real simple, but let's just say that those 3 properties, you got a 15-year mortgage on each one of those properties. Now I know some of you watching will go, how am I going to do that with mortgage rates where they are and, you know, trying to cash flow and everything. You know, a lot of other videos I talk about how important it is to cash flow. But let's just say that you got a really good deal on it and you're able to get in, they're worth $200,000 and you're able to cash flow. Okay. And you had 15-year mortgages on those 3 properties. If those properties only averaged depreciating 4% each year, some years it could be better, some years it might be a little less, but let's just say, to keep it simple with math, that it was 4% each and every year. Then that means that after 15 years, your loan would be completely paid off. You would not have any debt because it was a 15-year mortgage, and your properties at that point would be worth $1.08 million. So congratulations, you only bought 3 properties, and 15 years later, those properties are free and clear, and you have over $1 million worth of real estate. You are now officially a millionaire. So that is an example of literally just letting time do its thing. And basically, can you imagine it, even if you were just buying 1 rental property every year? That's it. Like, you just made it a point. Each year, I'm going to buy 1 rental property. And the thing that you have to understand is you are not going to get rich overnight doing that. In fact, that is a very slow, methodical way to do it. But think about it this way. And again, I'll use the same example that I used, the 15-year mortgage. If you were buying 1 property every single year, okay, and let's just say you were averaging $200,000 property. So you're averaging a $200,000 property every year. And keep in mind, obviously, that, you know, over time, values go up, so it'd be harder and harder as years go on. But basically, that $200,000 property that you bought that year 1 would be worth approximately $360,000 15 years later and not have a mortgage on it. And so every year, you would have another $360,000 to $365,000 of, you know, free and clear property each and every year if you just did that 1 property a year every year over 15 years. What happens a lot of times is, for most of us that invest in real estate, is we buy our first deal, we figure out kind of the bumps in the road, kind of, okay, this is kind of how I need to do it, and then we buy more and we buy more, and it's more of like a hockey stick approach. Instead of it being like a gradual increase in your net worth, it's more of like this, and then all of a sudden it goes up like that because we start to figure it out. We start to say, we learn new strategies. We're like, okay, I can do this, I can fix and flip, I can wholesale, I can buy rentals, I can kind of over time start to build and develop and get a good feel. Maybe you buy a portfolio all at one time. I had a portfolio I talked about on the channel where I bought 8 houses at one time. Pretty cool story because I paid $0 down payment for 8 houses at one time. But you start to learn more and more, and you start to have that rapid growth. Exponential growth is really what it's called. There are a lot of different ways that you can become a millionaire when it comes to investing in real estate, if that's what your jam is, if that's what you're trying to accomplish. I think that it's a great way to do it. Right now, there's a huge push now for people talking about buying businesses. And I think that buying businesses are great, but that is definitely a skill set that you have to acquire. I think it's much easier to just buy real estate over time, slowly but consistently over time, and build wealth that way. If you're looking to try to have today money, I was on a podcast the other day and was talking about like today money versus like building wealth tomorrow money, then obviously buying rentals is not going to get you that today money. And that's okay. You need to understand that. You don't need to be lied to that, you know, you can buy rentals and it's like magically your life changes overnight. It doesn't. But what you can do is you can develop your skill set. You can buy rentals. you can do some flips or you can do some wholesaling, and you can gradually, if you're wanting to leave your job and getting that today money through flips or wholesaling, and then you're building wealth long term over the rental properties. And the rental properties, if you do it right, will be kicking off cash flow. So you're getting the cash flow. The cash flow itself is, until you get a lot of rentals, is not really going to make a huge impact in your life per se, as far as like life-changing money. But over time, that cash flow starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger, because not only are you adding properties, but then the original properties rent historically go up. So now that cash flow is growing more and more and more. Some would argue, well, you have higher taxes and those sort of things. So that is true. Some of the taxes and insurance, as they go up, will eat into some of that cash flow as rents go higher, but still historically you're going to outpace that, and so you're able to make money in the form of cash flow. But really where you're building wealth is the debt pay down and the appreciation long term of those properties. So there's more than one way to become a millionaire when it comes to investing in real estate. It's not the quickest, but the easiest way is to buy assets, cash flow, income producing assets over a period of time, and keep doing that over and over a period of time. And one day you'll pick your head up and go, wow, not only am I a millionaire, but I'm a multi-millionaire. And it's a great feeling, and anybody out there can do it. Whether you are currently working a job that you hate and you're trying to get out of that job, you can get out of the job by making active income, let's say fix and flip, or let's say wholesaling. And then every now and then you're keeping a property. Maybe you wholesale 3 or 4 properties and then you keep one. And it's a great way to do it. There's also other strategies I talk about on the channel. There's a whole series that I have on this channel. It's called BRRRR Investor Mastery. You can check that series out, but I talk about how you can use the BRRRR strategy and you can build wealth that way. So you're actually forcing appreciation, you're getting your capital back, and you're recycling that capital over and over and over again. It's a really cool way to build wealth. But hope that helps answer some questions. As always, I appreciate you watching this video. Be sure, like I said, subscribe to the channel if you're a newer aspiring real estate investor, or even if you're a veteran investor, because I'm putting out content every single week. And like I said, if you really want to take your investing to the next level, check out that private community. The link is in the description below. It is where I teach new and aspiring real estate investors. I teach and I coach them where they're in that community with other new and aspiring real estate investors. It's a great place to where you can really kind of have that exponential growth that I was talking about earlier. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.